Remember this day, man, for it will be yours for all time. We have shown them that a trembling hand can become a fist. We have challenged the idea that a slave must always know his place, accepting rod and lash because he was taught to accept it. We built their mighty republic with our hands and our blood and our lives. And we can see it fall at equal cost. You opened my eyes to this, Spartacus.
You know, before we begin tonight, I'm going to take it back to like year one, author Stephen Walton. Because I recently, in the last month, found my fire again. And then it was reiterated. Everything that I've learned was just like reiterated in this really short span of time over the last week. So here we go. Liars, fakes, and snakes. The problem with a lie is not the lie itself. It's the fools who believe it. It's the ones that prioritize their own fifis. It's the one who prioritize their need to believe something about somebody else. That's the problem. It's the ones who hide from truth, honesty. It's the ones who hide from the reality of a situation. You know, how many times have you watched a newscast and said, I don't think that newscaster is telling me the right thing. I don't think they're telling me. How many times have you listened to a politician knowing damn well they're lying and been like, I believe their bullshit. I like their bullshit. How many times have you known damn well somebody is lying to your face? They are a liar. They have a history of lying. You have said to other people, that person is a liar. All their friends accept the fact that they lie constantly. But yet when that liar presents some false evidence, oh, you got to believe it. The power of a liar, the power of a narcissist is in the people who believe those lies. And I'm not saying at first, when you hear somebody who's got a good game, good bullshit talk, that you believe it, you might fall in, but eventually you see that person. Eventually you see that institution for what it is. This has been happening for thousands and thousands of years, for as long as there have been someone gullible enough or compassionate enough to believe that somebody who has a proven history of failing can change. You're going to deal with a liar. If you don't like somebody, if you prioritize your negative feelings about somebody or something else, a faith, an institution, well, that doesn't matter. If somebody can come along and lie about them and you're going to swallow it, you're going to believe it, you're going to eat it up. Because you are prioritizing a lie over reality. This has been happening for a long ass time, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you this, the biggest liars in this world, the ones that have control over our states, our governments, our religions, they've been cutting us off from the truth for a long damn time. But there's a lot of us waking up out there. I think one of the reasons why there has been this crazy rise in the awareness of narcissism, why you have all these countless channels, creators out there talking about this specific topic, is because some of the most prolific, selfish, egotistical, soulless people in history have been narcissists, liars. They don't care about your family. They don't care about reality. They don't care about the growth of another person. All they care about is what they want. And they lie so much they believe their own fucking lies. They'll never own up. And they'll never become good unless that few amount that wants to. And it is high time that we as a society refuse to accept the lies from narcissists at the top to the bottom, all across the board. The ones that don't want to release the Epstein client list. The ones at Disney who are constantly injecting their material with progressive garbage to gaslight, smear, and destroy people in the population who have nothing to do with their weird gayness. It is high time that we stop accepting the lies from narcissists in politics who don't give a shit about us. They just want to keep the game going, keep passing on that pain, keep passing on that debt while we pay for it, while we fight amongst ourselves. Those politicians that gaslight racism and sexism and cynicisms all over the place just so that we can keep fighting amongst ourselves and we don't see the puppet masters for who they are. Narcissists. It is high time that we stand up And hey, you might have to cut off that loyal fool. That friend that you once knew, yeah, well, she or he's going to keep believing the lies and the bullshit for whatever reason because they're just too damaged. Got to cut that fool off. It's time to cut off anybody that wants to believe, endorse, be around someone with a soulless piece of trash who just wants to destroy others. There's no excuse for that. There's no excusing for that. And if you do excuse that, you're just as bad as they are. Brothers and sisters, when it comes to truth, when it comes to being real, that is a constant search. The sage and the savage are here to guide and hail the chat. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. Got a nice, energetic show. Feeling kind of feeling good tonight. Feeling great. Had a strange week that left me with a period on the end of a sentence that I really freaking needed, y'all. But if you want to understand that, please check out my last video. Because that's it. The end of an era. The end of it. The actual end. The actual end. A friend of mine passed away this week, and my friend had caught a disease, and they were slowly dying the entire time. And I tried to be there for them, but it's a disease that is curable. It's a curable disease. It absolutely is. And it's curable by the fact that everybody that subscribes to this channel and has seen this disease or seen people afflicted with it have survived. You survived it. You broke away. You said no contact and walked away. Well, unfortunately, my friend, but what was crazy is that for a moment in time, for like one moment in time, I saw my friend one last time and they were healed. The energy was lifted. The illness was, the fog was gone for like 4.5 hours. I got to spend time with one of my best friends in the entire world before they were ever inflicted with this disease. And then less than 24 hours later, gone. And that's when you have to realize that sometimes people, you can't help anybody, you can only help yourself. You really can't. Sometimes your friends do things, decide to believe things and change so much that they're dead. They're dead to you, and it's sadness, and I do mourn it, and I mean it. Like, I know it's figuratively, but honest to God, my friend is dead. There's nothing I could do to save them. I could save myself, and that's kind of what it's about. So that's why I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break as far as making videos, because we're going to be going into a new era of Dragonstorm. We're going to be taking this into another direction, because really it's been built up the whole time on me being hurt, me being in this toxic cycle, allowing myself to be. I continually believe in somebody that keeps like bringing this disease into their life, bringing it into my life. And quite frankly, this entire time, I have gone through several changes. And what I didn't realize was that there were some accusations made about me that were absolutely true, and I didn't realize it at the time. And then once I did, I didn't really want to talk about it because I need to do some more healing. But I'll tell you this, if you remain in a toxic situation, whether you're fighting for a friend's soul and they ain't fighting for it themselves, whether you decide to mirror someone as evil as a narc, if you decide to remain damaged in that way, like remain in that cycle of toxicity, you will display traits of that disease, narcissism. You will display that. And so during my time, months and months and months ago, I actually created narratives in my own head because I couldn't understand why someone who had loved me and been cool with me for a long ass time all of a sudden changed. They called it a disease. And started hurting me and stabbing me in ways that they would have never done before. And I started excusing doing things or being in ways to try and shock them into waking up or try and get back or anything like that. And the truth of it is, the real narcissist in the situation, the person that spread the disease, was loving it the whole time and actually kept it going in some ways. So no, that's not me, dog. I don't live in worlds of illusion, but I don't spread lies because I need to believe those lies, but I was. I don't play perpetual victim because I need to spread my pain because I'm so hurt, but I was. And fuck that. That whole era is gone. And as I've healed, I've come to realize that you got to own your stuff. One thing a narcissist does not do, all right? Because that the flying monkey's the actual narcissist and everybody in that situation. Steve's really the narcissist. Anybody you want to, and I understand some people on the outside saying that, like, I understand it because I was being a shitbag for a minute, but I'm not. I own my shit. I apologize to all my friends, but that's all I can do because at this point I've owned it. Now I'm ready to move on. It's like a part of my history and I never want to be that again. Instead, I'm going to educate y'all. I'm going to be here with you to continue this journey, and we're going to stand together as survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse, and we're going to expose these demons and expose these lies. And to do that with me on this show every week is my ride or die homie, who has been with me the entire fucking ride. Please welcome the savage himself, Immortal Coil.
Battle 11 Messiah! You are listening to the throat of Immortal Coil, one of God's own prototypes, a high-powered mutant of some kind never even considered for mass production. Too weird to live, too rare to die. This video contains copywritten content, however, under the Fair Use Act, Section 504C, Title 17 of the United States Code. This content is presented for the purposes of education, entertainment, through the use of parody, satire, critique, analysis, and/or social commentary by means of subjective opinion. Reviewer discretion is advised. Recipsa locutor. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. That's like sexy when you like roll your tongue like that, girl. I just I'm not saying I swing that way. I'm saying like it gives me funny feelings. That's all I'm saying. I question. Just a little bit. Dude, that was a great show we did last night, guys. Please, Mortal Coil's link to his channel is pinned in the chat. Please subscribe to this man's channel. He has been doing this as long as I have, and we need to get this man monetized. He only needs, how many more watch hours you need, man?
I need about 1,200. So, I mean, if you guys can just like rip it open in your back tabs and just like have it going when you're taking a shit or whatever, it's not a big deal. But if you choose to listen to it, you might actually learn something. So.
Oh damn! I didn't change the background. The background of the third. I can't do it now. That's. I'm just letting you know that's not the truth. This is actually episode 4. Shit. I took a nap.
Steven has technical difficulties.
I took a nap, and then I called Cole. I was like, "Oh my god!" I woke up quick, and I texted him. He didn't text me back, and I called him, and he was like, "Oh hi, buddy." I thought we were both sleeping. I don't feel so bad. This is what old men do. But brother, thank you so much for being there with me this whole time, guys. You know, out there in the chat, you know those friends that still believe in you when you're going crazy and you're going through all. And I had a lot of people like that. There were people out there like that for me. Like my boy Phil out here. My boy Phil believed in me. I isolated, so I didn't talk to Phil every day, but he was always there for me. Tina was there for me through almost all of it. And Tina, thank God bless her heart, she interacted with people who had distanced themselves from me and was still interacting with them and still stayed by my side. Tina Bojan's one of the best. My love to you, sister. Thank you so much. You know, there are people out there who don't leave your side. Bone started supporting me on
Bone
TikTok when I first.
Loyal soldier.
Hail, brother. It's with TikTok. He supported me on TikTok and when I first started. And I thank you, dude, because you all know what it's like when you get isolated and then you're further isolated. You know, you keep going back to somebody and dude, guys, I was a loyal fool to a loyal fool. That's what ended up happening. That's what it was, and that's even sad. That's like even more sad. But still, all the changes that I went through, Mortal Coil was there for me when I isolated. It was the only man who gave me real advice, who really helped me search through my soul spiritually, because this means a lot to me. I'm a spiritual cat, and that's why I'm going to rebuild. We're going to build something better here than we have ever. Did you? What was that?
I was slapping something. It's all right.
Okay, I hope so, because I'm building you up, and then that happened. What the hell, bro? Mute that shit. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about narcissists and loyal fools, and the power of lies, because one of the key to everything that I learned to break away from the situation that I was in was controlling your emotions. It was always my weakness. My boy E-Tep used to say, "Dude, I understand you're a passionate guy." He said it to me a while ago, and I didn't. It always stuck in my mind, but it didn't click until a few months ago. And I heard a couple other comments from people I used to roll with. Culture Casino, shout out to him. Sporking news podcast. I heard this from a few friends, and I was just like, you know what? I understand. One of the excuses that was used for the constant return from the loyal fool that I was a loyal fool to was, I love him, I hit the best, and all that stuff. And I understood, like, damn it, it's not just the damage. It's not just the manipulation and damage that a person goes through that has a lot to do with why you continue to go back to someone who treats you like garbage. It's the emotions, the emotional component. And I realized last conversation when I was being brought up, I was being gaslit with things that made no sense whatsoever as to defending the person that is doing all the damage to this other person. And as I was going up, the fool was going up, and then I would bring it down, and the fool would bring it down, and I realized this person's playing on my emotions, and I understood the whole cycle of the way that I've been getting treated by someone else is by the way that they have been getting abused. And so when it only took like 1 minute, and I realized just right then, because I turned my emotions off. That's it. I just brought my center back because I was being brought up by being gaslit. And I was just like, this is it. It's over. It's just, I can't do this anymore. Controlling your emotions is king, guys. We see a lot of times in Coyle, I'm going to leave you off to talk about this. I'm going to set you up so I can change the background. Okay. All right. You there?
Make it succinct.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to lead you into this. Talk about it for like a minute. We see all the time how politicians, extremists, like socio-political extremists, progressives, for instance, talk about a relative topic that's been going on for the last decade. They will come onto the scene and then like gaslight you, call you a bigot, call you a racist or a sexist because you have a critique about a piece of film or television, and your critique has nothing to do with the sex or the race of the person. But they continue to hammer on that. They continue to gaslight you because they want to stir your emotions up. They want to spread their pain. They want to confuse you and avoid the actual conversation being had, because the actual conversation is ridiculous and they know it. Like, and as far as our entertainments, you good with that? Can you give your comment on that for me, brother?
Correct.
I'll be right.
They would like to convince you that our generational memory only lasts about 20 or 30 years, which is fucking correct. And Steven doesn't like me to cuss so much, but if you follow me on this pathway.
Bro, I've been cursing. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Well, essentially, it's one of those things. We initially... How far back do we want to go? Let's just go back to the 40s, okay? In the 40s, we were largely an industrial nation. We were just like conquering the resources of our homeland and caught in the Industrial Revolution, like trains were becoming a thing and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, we had assholes on the other side of the world that were threatening our way of life. So what do? We go to the other side of the world to try to contain that. And not only do we do that, but our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers, our great-great-grandfathers. I don't know how old you are listening to this. I was born in 1981. That was my great-grandfather. So if you're younger than that, realize. If you're older than that, realize. But it's also one of those things that once we had done that, number one, we had access to technology, but number two, we had a period of blissfulness that was unparalleled in the past 100 years. It was also a fact of the matter that industry and at least domestic industry, let's say that domestic industry and industrial, like underground industrial, like they took parallel paths. So industrial wise, we had the benefits of like our factories that we set up, like everything that used to build tanks were building like Mustangs and, sexy cars and just, things that impress girls and that kind of thing. But at the same time, we had the infrastructure to digest the things that we found as the spoils of war. So it's not as nefarious as it sounds. It's just like the fact of the matter, and it's one of those things. It gives us a con. How do I say that?
Did you say
Contextual. No,
okay, thank God. Whew, I was worried. I was like, "Damn, you went overboard." I said, "I'm not going to curse tonight." Okay, sorry.
Context. Contextual. Help me conjugate that. Contextual field.
You're right. Yes.
Motherfucker.
From the throat of a mortal coil.
From the throat of a mortal coil. Yeah.
What a cunt.
A contextual field to consider ourselves, and it set up the next, I don't know, from the 50s to the 90s. It was a solid pathway through if you had the vision to see it. If you don't, then ask. You're in the chat. We're available. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, we're definitely up here. Let's do this. Let's hail the chat real quick before we keep going. CJH channel member, one of my mods. What's going on, man? Hail the fourth wave. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. We got Bad Take Tina Bojan in the house. Let's do a sister hail. Ma'am. Hail my rogues out there. Lizzie's in the chat. Lizzie, thank you so much for being here. Yeah. So you see, he put a little sauce on that. Lizzie, he's really sweet for you. Like, you hear that? He's like, hell. It's like, hell, Lizzie. Thank you for coming through last night on Immortal Coil's channel. We greatly appreciate that. Man.
That was awesome. Actually, everybody that was listed above, thank you.
We got Scott Clark out there, Leper Messiah. Yeah.
Hey, so, Scott.
Obviously, that song has two meanings for me. But honestly, when I heard it again, like I was going through songs to do an intro for this channel, and I was like, everything they talk about in there is a spiritual narcissist, spiritual narcissism, leper messiah, because religion is one of the things that can be used by a narcissist or a malignant or a psychopath, really, as a vehicle to fool people, to gain money, to enact all the dogmas they want behind the veneer of being holy, while sending out squads to kill people. I mean, all three. Look throughout history. There have been good and bad examples of people in religion. I just want to state that. Like, I don't think everybody that's religious is bad. Absolutely not. But it is definitely a vehicle that's used. And being that I'm, pagan, it's just it goes along with my vein, thing. So. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love that song, dude. Thank you. Deborah's here. What's up, Deborah? Deborah, I want to let you know that the last time I saw somebody from that is no longer around, I want to say this. I told her one story. I said, one of my subscribers went to your channel and watched the video with all the voicemails and everything. And then the last thing she ever sent to me, what she did right after that was she sent me a link to codependency.com. Thank you so much for enlightening me a little bit on my behavior. I greatly appreciate you. Own your shit. Deborah, thank you for being here, being a supporter, and man, just helping out on the healing journey. Greatly appreciated, sweetheart. What's
Thank
up, Blissful Bombshells here? What's up? Excited to stumble upon this live. Excited to have you here. We're going to be talking about narcs, loyal fools, the power of lies, because it's an important thing. What gives a narcissist power is the loyal fool. And when we fall in love with, or we are in a relationship with, a narcissist, and after they've love bombed us and they've gotten into our heads, and they're the perfect person, and they figured out what we like, and they also figure out what anybody that we were with, that we liked about what we were with. For instance, there's a narcissist out there right now who thinks he's a white dragon. All of a sudden, he's a white dragon. Because that was a part of the bomb phase. That's part of I need to be everything he is because she keeps talking to him. That's what they do. But eventually you get to a point where you see a liar as a liar. You get to a point where a statement like, I know that this person lies all the time and all of their friends around them accept that he just lies all the time. and then turn around when that person lies about you, and then you get labeled a liar. There is a cognitive dissonance there. There is a problem. That is a person who is a loyal fool. Stop it. And so we need to talk about loyal fools, and not just on a personal level. We're not going to just talk about like relationships tonight. We're going to talk about loyal fools for like your political party, right? You know damn well your political party is wrong about a lot of things, and they're probably more similar to the other parties involved in the politics. But because you have to stand the line, you've got to back up some of that bullshit. You're being a loyal fool. That's how I look at it. And that comes the same thing as like companies or institutions. If you feel like you have to stand the line, even though you know there's bullshit is happening behind the scene, you're being loyal. You're being a loyal fool. You're dismissing the reality of the situation in favor of what your own need to be there. And I don't think that embracing lies, I don't think that is the way that we should be going as people trying to seek higher enlightenment, trying to become better for ourselves, especially if we want to be connected to God, source, however you look at it. Right? Just dismissing evil or accepting evil, into your life just so that you could maintain some kind of connection or association with a group or a person. That's wrong to me. So good to see you. Thank you so much. Phil's in the chat. What's going on, Phil? Mike says, as long as the narc has legs, we have no future. Look, I said this in the last video. There's 2 cures for narcissistic personality disorder. One is that narc goes and gets help and wants to become a better, not just goes to get help to become a better narc, but actually become a better human being. And the other is bring back dueling. All right. As I said, there's no sense in mirroring narcs. I was doing it for months. It led up to a conclusion that was just like, this narcissist is an absolute coward and will use anybody else, will not come at me straight up, but will use someone else to come at me. And that's it. There's no point unless you're willing to, go Goodfellas. There's no point. Just ignore them. No contact. You can clown a narcissist just by being yourself, just by growing, and
what he's saying is that you have to own your own interaction with those people. If you feed them, then they will continue to eat. If you decide to do something else, then they will have no food source, at least not from you.
You're right. And he's right. It's something I couldn't accept for a long time, because when you're dealing with like a normal toxic person, narcissists are a whole other class of dirtbag. When you're dealing with like just angry people, toxic people, wrong people that are in the wrong, you're dealing with a bully, right? You're dealing with a bully in a schoolyard. You give the bully a bloody nose, bully figures it out, right? The thing about a narc is that you give a narc a bully. I mean, if the narc's a bully, and you punch him in the nose, all right? You'll give them a bloody nose. They might go away for a second, but they're going to go home and masturbate with their blood. They love being, they'll
come back with like 3 friends, 5 friends, and then what are you
absolutely.
Gonna do?
Well, yeah, they're definitely going to attack you from the rear. They're going to attack you by proxy. Unless they're dealing with like a psychopathic narc, a malignant narcissist. Right? There's different types of narcissists, but if you're dealing with like your general run-of-the-mill narcissist, like they're probably, unless they consider you weak. And as far as I don't know all the different terms of narcissism, but I do know that if you're dealing with a male narc with severe mommy issues, they'll beat up a chick rather than confront a dude. And so I'm not going, but I'm just saying, like, they're cowards. So it's like, once you stand up to them, they will masturbate with their own tears and then come back again for more and try and hurt you even better. And it's a continuing cycle. And if you stay in that cycle with them, you're attracting that negativity. You're attracting you're going to start taking those traits on, because it's just it's a continuous. They want the battle. They want the conflict. They are conflicted. It's like coil. It's like this. They are so conflicted and broken inside. They don't want to face themselves. That's why they create the narcissistic shell. That's why they create this world of lies. Everything's a lie, and everybody else is a liar too. Everybody else is just as bad as they are, of course. And so it's all about avoiding healing. And what's the best way to avoid healing? Keep yourself busy. Well, they keep themselves busy by hurting other people, getting instant gratification, or hurting other people in order to escape responsibility for healing themselves. That's a sick ass cycle. I mean, what do you? I'm not kidding, bro. You've had experiences with narcissistic people in the past, haven't you?
I have, man. But it's also one of those things that I try not to think about it as fuck you, man. Because because again, that's like feeding the energy. What you have to do is change the energy and disinvolve yourself with those people who, and that might be difficult if that's like your family or those are your friends or whatever.
Right.
Okay, there's the family you're born with and the family you find. You might just have to completely walk away. And I'll tell you this, when I was 16, I had to do that. I had to completely walk away. I went to a completely different state, and I did have the benefit of going to a different parent, but um in the same instance, I did not play the same role. I was not the meek little kid that I once was. I
Hmm.
found a different role for myself and I invented different things for myself to do. And then slowly I started opening up abilities that I never thought that I had. Um which was like if you take it from like a shut down little boy to a kid who discovered how to see auras and how to look into spirit and how to uh, discourse with non-human beings, it's night and day, and that's just the difference between a year and a half.
Hmm.
So who knows, man? Who knows what you are capable of if you just give yourself the chance. Don't
Dig it.
give the other guy power or the other girl power,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
Yes,
Right. I mean,
sir.
and then and generally that's for like dealing with any type of hater, troll, toxic personality. Don't feed it. But from my experience, you're right, absolutely, because you're connecting your energy to them. You're connecting your soul energy to them. But in my experience, like dealing with other types of toxic people, there's ways to maneuver around them. I was stumped. I was stumped with this situation for the last, how many years. So I learned a lot about just like there are levels of toxicity out there that are beyond. There's no negotiation table. there's no middle ground. There's no meeting someone halfway when a person's world, their world that they've created, is the world, and your experience for them only exists in its own bubble, and that is what you can provide or do for them. And anything outside of that is not an experience that they can
True.
understand and
And then
just.
that's when you decide who are you in relation to them. Are you gonna
Hmm.
feed into their idea of who they are, or do they exist in your bubble? And
Mm.
that's not to say, fuck them and make them perform. It's just what do you choose to involve yourself with? How does that how does that dictate your ballet? You're
Hmm.
waking up at 6 and doing like everything until 8 and then you get home, and how much attention are you giving that process to who they are?
Hmm.
Or do you choose to let that go and just like maybe I'll turn left instead of right. Maybe I'll go up instead of down. Maybe I'll do this instead of that. Maybe I'll eat here instead of there, you
Maybe
know?
maybe I won't talk to this person ever again because there's no saving them. Yeah, I understand. And Coil's been giving me this advice, guys, for months. He's the one that hammered it for months, hammering these truths into me, and doing it in a very spiritual way. If you're interested, guys, if you're interested in extraterrestrial conspiracy, spirit topics, please check out Mortal Coil's channel. His link is pinned in the chat. Deborah says, "Glad you'll take time breaks. Excuse me. Glad you will take a break and get some tranquil time for writing and whatever else." Yeah, I got to get a couple more interviews on that, Deborah. This book's coming out. That's the hurdle. When I began involving myself in an abusive toxic cycle consistently, like that got put on hold over and over and over again. No more. I've been working on that, and it's going to get out there. But thank you, sweetheart. 4 subscribers. That's 3 more than you had. Awesome. Bone says, "Happy St. Patrick's Day." Well, I
Bone,
appreciate
bone,
that.
bone, 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 bone.
But for me, that's kind of like saying to a Jew, Saint Hitler's Day. Happy Saint Hitler's Day. Like I'm so, but I appreciate it. I appreciate different perspectives, different views. Thank you so much. Blissful Bombshell says, was that Latin, right? Latin spoken is sexy as fuck, which I could occasionally do it for my own purposes. All right, listen, we're going to get you a recording of Immortal Coil speaking Latin that you can play during those times when you are doing activities alone. All right, we're going to do that. Cool. Do you think you could do that for Blissful Bombshell? You know,
I think we might be able to come to some accord. Sure.
There you go. Subscribe to him, and then next Saturday we do Savage Spirituality. You come through, and he'll speak some Latin for you, and he'll do it real sexy. All right, promise. Thank you. Let's see. I want to say hi to what's up? Are you real? Hello, everyone. How you doing? What's up, Angela? Thank you for reminding me of your name. It's going to take a while.
Yeah,
Lisa's
I remember
here.
you from last time as well. Yeah.
I'm going to stop and give you a chance. I'm sorry. I keep jumping. Thank you.
No. I remember you from last time as well, is all I'm saying. Angela's a nice name. Yeah.
And Angela, if you are also interested in some sexy Savage Latin, we've already got it set up for next week on his show that he's going to be doing that. So if you want to record it, there it is. Lisa Virgo Warriors here. Hey, what's going on, Lisa? Hail to you.
And the Colt Jam.
Make sure I don't want to miss anybody before we keep going. Truly Happy is here. What is up? Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you.
Nice image. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Anybody else? I think I've caught up. I'll say hi to anybody that comes in. In my opinion, our Mexican government has the entire nation gaslit, and we're all in a narcissistic abuse relationship with this government. Oh yeah, let's go to politics. Let's take it to politics then.
Ooh.
Let's take it to so okay. I'm not on the up and up as far as the Mexican government's political situation, but I am a North American in the United States. And I can tell you that both of our parties are the same effing party. They're both covering each other's backs. The Democrats and the Republicans. They won't let any third parties come in. And if anybody third party-ish comes even near getting any type of momentum, they will gang up together and gaslight. And that's all we see in my politics, from my perspective. All I see from Democrats, Republicans, two sides of the same coin, constantly gaslighting one another, gaslighting the public, just telling lies, open lies, and keeping people fighting, keeping racism alive, keeping things, proposing ideas when it comes to gender that are nowhere near the fabric of reality. But you're a bigot and a terrible person if you don't believe their fantasy. That's how I see our modern politics, Immortal Coil. What do you think of the American political situation?
Hey, come north and get benefits and vote for the blue tie. You know, that's how it looks to me.
I don't think, actually, this is the thing. The progressives. First off, all of them just want to stay in power, and they just want to keep people fighting. So they don't really care about what they're doing. But honestly, I think that allowing an influx of Catholic conservative types from South America into the country is going to work against them, because aren't like religious conservatives? Isn't that like a Republican? They're usually like back Republicans, right?
No. If
really?
if you're coming up north and we grant you free housing and a certain amount of money per year, and regardless of jobs, and then I'm sorry, I'm not a right leaning guy. Listen, I'm very much in the middle, and
me too.
Maybe I'm taking a slight bit to the right, but not like to the degree that you guys think. I just maybe it's too political. Maybe I just can't comment on that because
he doesn't do politics. He doesn't do politics.
There's a way into the country that everybody used to follow in the 1900s, and nobody does that anymore because the political parties wish to procure voters, and it comes at the cost of the people who are already here, who are working and suffering.
See,
this and that.
I don't think it has to do with voters, man. I think that's like an illusion. I really don't think it has anything to do with voters. Where we talked to Tina, and Tina was she lives up, she's up by Chicago, right? and so, you know, she was talking about the influx of immigrants that are just like overflowing out of Chicago, and they started spilling them in the suburbs to the point to where the police stations can't even run. I don't honestly think it has to do with voting. I don't think they care about voting. I mean, Coyle. All right, let's. Like, I'm just going to say it.
I saw a video the other day where there was and forgive me, like, I don't even know how to make this sound polite. Like, there was a Arab immigrant that was existing in Finland who said that there were too many Finns in Finland. Yeah. And it's like, how do you even cognize that? And I know what the point of the video was, but like, I just can't make myself into one of those angry people. To me, it's like, that's a symptom of what the fuck is wrong. And you just have to understand what is right. And I'm not saying right in the sense of political rightness. I'm saying what is correct. And we just have to enact correctness within our own hearts and within our own communities. And I don't care who lives there. I don't care if they're black, brown, red, yellow, whatever, but you have to make harmony, and you have to make sense of what is the resources and how to distribute them and how to it's a big question.
I get it. And you're right. It is a big thing. It has a lot of areas to explore. But see, that's a symptom. And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because that's like a symptom. Just like I think the influx of illegal immigrants into the United States is like, these are all symptoms. Because the entire system, from the top to the bottom, from the United Nations down politically, all right, is run by megalomaniac, narcissistic people who do not care about who do not care about the actual topics of us, like normal, everyday, you know, working Joes. You know, they don't care about us. It's all about keeping power. The way they keep power is by creating problems that are unnecessary so that we don't come together and fix the actual problems that need to be fixed, like getting rid of the politicians who don't care, who are lying, who are abusing power, who are, you know, running distribution rings of young people that for, you know, and that's the reason why we don't get client lists that should have been out years ago. You know, like the things like that. The power of a lie. You keep not just the power of lying, but like creating situations. Like that's what narcissists do. They create situations unnecessarily so that you can keep everybody confused. You know, they create problems with different people, or they'll gaslight you with an issue that doesn't make any sense, just to keep your mind busy. Like, I don't understand what's going on. What that statement that guy said in Finland should never have happened. That is a symptom of a structure that has been allowed to be built on this world upon fantasy, upon lying, creating illusion. And what really upsets me about that, Coyle, is that you have people that work in those offices. You have people that work around, like people in the United Nations, people in our government. You have people that work around, senators and so forth, that know the real deal. They know this is full of shit. They know that this law is not meant to help anybody. This law is meant to create a disturbance, keep people this narrative.
Well, and that's the thing of it is, whether you're on the extreme right or the extreme left, you're both fucking wrong. Because if you study the union of opposites, as far as like Chinese martial arts go, they're the same fucking thing. So you have the same guys who are hurting children, who are I don't know, man, this depresses me. The only thing that I know is that we're the only ones who can stop it. And it's not like gonna come down to like, I'm gonna point at Joe Biden and you're gonna point at Donald Trump. We have to point at fucketry wherever the fuck we see it. Doesn't matter if it's Disney or Fox or MSNBC. it's the same assholes doing the same thing and wearing different hats in different situations. Make yourself aware, educate yourself or die. History is going to
Mhm.
repeat itself unless you educate yourself. I'm sorry, man. Like I have a little bit of a charge about that, and
No, actually, I like that charge, bro. I'm feeling
I
it.
don't know. I don't know how to talk about that without getting pissed off. I'm sorry.
Control your fifis. Didn't we learned that lesson? No,
Mm.
you're right though. Well, okay. Well, let me pose this to you. People who are complicit, people who understand the evils that are going on, and and just let it go. Let the lie exist. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with a loyal fool? How do you deal with that?
The pretenders.
Yeah.
Um, at this point, it's difficult to do so. Listen, humanity turned a corner recently, and it's going to be like maybe another 50 or 100 years before it completely manifests itself. But what you have to do is be completely grounded in your self as who you are, as what you understand. Uh, and I don't want to say as neutral as possible, but like I want to say like you don't want to participate in the grand polarity of things. Listen, you might be a little bit left of this or a little bit right of that, or you might like this movie a little bit more than I like that one, but that's immaterial. What matters is that we can see a common reality, one where this bullshit is not allowed to exceed
Hmm.
further. So,
All right.
yeah.
Let me take a turn just for a moment. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Please hit the like, dislike if you hate me. That's awesome. Thank you to all my haters lurking. But please share out the stream, and if you do anything, please subscribe to Immortal Coil. His link is pinned in the chat. Let me take a little left turn here that I think you'll be able to I think you'll massage you. I think you can get into this back hole, sir.
All right.
So when it comes to toxic, narcissistic, megalomaniac type people, let's talk about Disney. Let's talk about Iger, Kennedy. What is your assessment over the last 10 years of materials that has come out of Disney? What's your assessment of the people who run that company?
Pure propaganda. This is the greatest extension of Joseph Goebbels, man. I don't know how to say that more politely.
Be ignorant.
Well, let's be ignorant then. Disney is fully invested in brainwashing you. Like everything that they have had to offer is solely geared towards political conclusion, so much so that it's like painful to watch. And I even think like the people who agree with that mindset don't even like pay to go and watch it, you know. Hashtag solo wash or lost money.
Solo lost
Yeah.
money. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those things, man. Disney used to be about stretching our imagination, and now it's about taking the imagination that used to exist and trying to reinterpret it into the youth into a way that makes them figure that there's a foregone conclusion that is the current social political climate. And it's
Mhm.
weird because like every time they put up an actress or an actor, and typically it's an actress. So say it's a Brie Larson, say it's a who is that bitch that played Snow White for a second?
Snow Brown, Ziegler,
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
Ziegler. Yeah.
Renee Ziegler.
Yeah.
So you took people like that and they went and spit their shit, and then they turned around and they were like fired before the public because the public would not accept their rhetoric. And then at the same time, you also had people like Mark Hamill, and then the guy who played Boba Fett. And I don't remember his name either.
Was it Boba Fett or was it the Mandalorian? Was it Boba Fett, the guy? Was it him?
I'm talking about the actor who played Boba Fett because he disagreed with the script just about as much as Mark Hamill disagreed with the script towards Rian Johnson. And this is not to say that I agree with every last little thing that Mark Hamill or Tamora blah blah. I can't remember his last name.
Me neither. Somebody in the chat.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple fandom menace out there. Let's know.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where we started, so this is kind of the basis of the point that he's trying to underscore. Even the people who were inside participating on the rewrite of the, grand design had objections. And if you have somebody like Luke Skywalker saying, like, I don't agree with Luke Skywalker, and you have somebody like Boba Fett saying, I don't agree with Boba Fett, then it's harder to dismiss the fandom's perceptions of those two characters. And especially in the sense that they want to pass us off as like 40-year-old basement stupid people, but we're actually the most insightful students of the entire previous trilogy. And the OT was the original trilogy, right? I mean, the prequels were made to underscore the points of the OT, and the sequels were just an abomination. So,
Yes. Well, they were, oh God, the sequels. Oh, we can get into that a little bit, but I just thought, for those of you that don't know, people like myself, Mortal Coil, Snow Dub Music and Entertainment, guys, please subscribe to Snow Dub Music and Entertainment. We were part of the grassroots backlash that happened started in 2018 called the Fandom Menace, where we were being gaslit by narcissists who worked at Disney Lucasfilm. But also not just there, CBS All Access, Star Trek, by Alex Kurtzman, and Chris Chibnall, who was running Doctor Who at the time.
Yep.
And these people came in with their their political ideas. They're like political narcissism.
And it's not even them individually. These were all people who were like dispersed to put forth a common conclusion that just was not well received. And that also
was based in reality. It wasn't.
No, these are the last dying grasps of like a flailing baby, dude. That's
but the thing is that what happened was these people who were trying to put out these social ideas that were extreme were pointing the finger at everybody outside their extremism and calling them extremists. Like a narcissist acts like a narcissist and points the finger at everybody else and goes, they're the narcissist. And they were taking our modern myths, they were taking our TV and our movies, and they were turning them into something they weren't. They were using them to send political messages, whereas they were escapism. They were meant to unify. There were things we could talk about around the water cooler. And like Star Wars, like all of us here are Star Wars fans. Snow Dub, he's one of us, and also Snow Dub is going to be adding to a chapter of my upcoming book, The Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion, which is about all of this, along with other creators like Culture Casino and Sporking's Podcast, and Nerdrotic, DJ Odyssey, many others. And I explain in this book, because they took these extremist ideas, like the gender, the pronoun things, the non-binaries, all of this nonsense. The problem was that there are people out there with issues, with mental health issues, with toxicity issues, people who took it seriously, and those that were just trolling, people that just wanted to pass on pain, people that just wanted to create chaos. And they gaslit entire fandoms. They gaslit the Star Wars fandom, the Star Trek fandom, the Doctor Who fandom, Lord of the Rings, anything they could get a hold of. And the excuse, whenever we critiqued why Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi was not Luke. Why is Luke Skywalker the guy who fought because he loved his dad, the child murderer of the galaxy? You know what I mean? Why is he a defeated old homeless guy, a whole homeless guy on a planet and gave up? Because the narrative had to be old white people are the problem. It's the older white people generation in the United States that are the problem. And that's why they did that. And then when you had a problem with it, they would call you
bite. Yeah.
They would call us racist and sexist. And the thing is, it's kind of weird that I went on this journey, that I went through this narcissistic abuse thing and then built this channel because I realized the types of personalities I was dealing with these production houses and the types of the personalities, these actors who are complicit, loyal fools because they need that money. So they're going to get up there and say, yeah, I think they're all racists. I think they're all sexist. When the only people putting those issues on the table were the actors and were the producers. They were just gaslighting so they could keep getting a paycheck, or they could create pain and misery and cognitive dissonance. So it's so strange because it really fits into the vein of why we were dealing with Twitter mobs of progressives and blue-haired weirdos and people with pressing their pronouns. Are you effing kidding me? I'm not calling you Z-Zer. What the hell is wrong with you? They're just doing that to spread pain. That's the progressive movement, is a very narcissistic movement. And so, and as a person who's traditionally liberal, I couldn't take it. I walked away. But hail to Snow Dub. Good to see you. The chat is very active. And so I want to kind of move along. But
I have to catch up with some.
I got to. Because while this channel while we still have streams that are, that are small enough, I guess, I want to make sure to get back to you guys. You guys built this. You guys helped me build this. And thank you so very much, because it's all about the chat. It's all about you guys. It's all about the subscribers. Hail the chat. It is all about y'all. You're the reason why our voices are being heard. And I'll say this, as I have said since year one of the Fandom Menace. If you feel as though your experience, your voice, your opinion is not being heard, then create a channel, create a podcast, create a website, wherever it is that you feel you need to speak your mind, speak your piece, speak your truth, and get what you're seeing, to fight the cognitive dissonance of whether it's political or social. Do it. Do it, because as Coyle said earlier, the only way we can defeat these liars is if we stand up, refuse to kneel, and speak the truth. So thank you guys so much.
And feel free to hit the thumbs up, share this out, drop us a comment. If you have a topic that you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments.
After the show,
guys drive the show.
Comments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do. When the stream is over, come back to it. Leave a comment if you'd like us to talk or address a certain subject, and we will definitely do that. Thank you, Cole. Let's see. Andrew, I'm gonna say, "Are you real?" Because I can't. I'm sorry. There's so much going on in my brain. I don't think you told me your name like 10 times. How do you become ensnared by a narcissist? Well, it's like narcissists are con artists. So, like, a narcissist will approach somebody, and if they discover, when they're probing you, that first conversation, or if they can't trick you or fool you, if they can't find a way to get in, then they'll move on. But a narcissist usually goes after someone that they recognize has a certain traits, or certain damages, or has weak boundaries, is over caring, over forgiving. And they will use those to enter a conversation, learn about that person, mirror who they are, find out what they like, what they don't like. And that narcissist will put on a face, because they've been doing it their whole life. They'll put on a fake facade to be that person for as long as it takes to become important, or that person becomes dependent upon that friendship, relationship, association. And that's when the narc stabs them. This is the insidious thing. So the narc will stab you to see if you forgive them. And when you forgive them, that's it, game on, because the narc has no respect for you whatsoever. They know they can work you over. They know they can con you. And so they are validated to do any of the evil, terrible things that they want because you believe them. It's insidious. That's basically how it happens.
And I agree. I think it's a complete surrender through, I don't even know if fear is the right word. It's a complete surrender. You just, you cease to lead yourself, and you allow somebody else to completely do it for you, but at the cost of your own free will. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. It is a cost of your own free will. And if you stay in it long enough, you become traumatized. You become dependent upon the toxic situation. You become toxic yourself. And, like in my case, when you continue to try and save somebody who won't get out of that cycle, then you become toxic too. Like everybody becomes toxic. That's why no contact is king. You have to, because you will become part of a system that is dependent on conflict. And the longer you stay in it, the more a narcissist knows how to trigger you, how to get fuel, how to get supply, your reactions out of you.
Well, totally. You become part of their program. You no longer have your own drive or vision. You're just like solely dependent upon the program.
Yeah, it is, and it's conditioning. It's in the very same way that the media. I don't know if you guys I wish I was going to pull that clip up. There's a YouTube clip where the media at one time put out the same exact story, like the same exact
Conan
script.
O'Brien. Yeah.
But it was like all over the country and everywhere. They all said this line after line. Didn't matter what network it was. This very same thing, because with the exception of one, I think the Western media is all basically controlled under the same hub, so they're all sending the same messages. It's all gaslighting. It's all misinformation, and that's why they try and stomp out different third-party news medias that are trying to come up in the same way they stomp out third-party political systems. Because they've got the system on lock. They've got the system on lock, and. Going back real quick just for a moment to talk about voting, when you were talking about like to get votes, I don't think they care about that, Coyle, because they manufactured a coup so they could steal an election, and it worked beautifully, and they did everything possible, every possible thing that was pointed to and go, hey, something's wrong about, the official, the people that make sure it's fair, not being allowed in, not being allowed after midnight. And then all these votes showed up and nobody's saying anything. And then, what I mean? Like, and I don't even care who you voted for, guys. I don't even care if you vote in the United States, where you vote, I don't care who. When there is obvious issues with the process itself, and they just allow the process to go on, there's something fishy going on. There's an open lie happening right there. And nobody's checking it out. Nobody's looking at it, Like, I don't care if your candidate won. I don't give but there was issues. And you get news stories about heart attacks for years after the coup shots, from like young athletes and shit. And look at all of the stories that are put out to cover that up. Like, oh, that's not a problem. No, that's always been happening. No, that's always been a thing. No, it hasn't always been a thing. What are you gaslighting me for? Whatever your stance is, and I'm serious about this. Whatever your stance is politically, socially, whatever you believe, when something hairy is going on. Don't be a loyal fool. Don't be a loyal fool to your political party, your ideology, your beliefs. Don't be a loyal fool. Call it out. Be like, why is this wrong? Why does this seem like it's unfair? Why is this narrative running against reality?
Can I ask you a question, bro. Stephen?
Please do.
As far as the tarot is concerned, talk about the Fool card. And do you have a Fool card that you can show us?
No, my cards are downstairs, but the Fool, okay, but the Fool in tarot upright means new beginnings. It means fresh start. It means whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's that moment in life when, you're just like, let's see what's around the corner. And you don't even think about it. You just go around the corner. Let's just see. Let life happen. That's what the Fool is. But in reverse, the Fool is jump off a cliff, be immature. Lemming. I'm going to believe the lies. And that's basically what that stands for. Funny that you bring the Fool up, because the Fool is ruled by Aries, and I'll tell you why that's funny later. Lisa says, Columbus, Ohio out there. What's up, Columbus, Ohio? Good to see you. Let's see. Blissful Bombshell says, I was a loyal fool, but over that now, thank the gods. Oh, you know how much I love having pagans in the audience. Thank you. Hail, sister. Good to meet another daughter of the goddess out there. I was a loyal fool. You know what's bad is I was a loyal fool to a loyal fool. So I'm twice as foolish. That's the way I look at it. I just got to be funny. I gotta laugh at it. It is what it is.
Obi-Wan, man. Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool?
The fool. So, Let's see. Real says narcissist will never go for mental health therapy, and narcissist feels that you need help, not them. Yeah, exactly. I know, and it's insane. There are some narcs, though. There are a couple of content creators out there who talk about this, who go to therapy. The mental health awareness, mental wellness. What's that guy's name? That black guy. I can't think of his name. I like him. However, there's another one I don't like, Batwolf. Like, I'm not trying to talk trash. If you watch him, you watch him. Like the Batwolf, whatever that guy. Nah. I watched one of his videos. He was like, empaths aren't real. Empaths don't exist. You have an illness if you're an empath. And I'm like, dude, somebody who's talking to me who has a complete lack of empathy, who does not have empathy, is telling me that empaths don't exist. I don't trust the words you have to say. So be careful, honest to God, if you're watching narcs, unless a narc is honest about them being a narc. I know there's a couple narc creators out there that have NPD, and they're like, yeah, I'm a narcissist, and I'm going to tell you everything about that. Just be careful. Just be careful. Because when I saw that video, I was like, dude, you have no idea. Like, you are disconnected from source. And I'm sorry that your therapy and you hit that guy trying to become a better person has not led to him being reconnected to God, to source. Because you can't make a statement like that and have that connection. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense to me. Of course,
to my experience, man, the only solution to this situation is turn away.
Bring back dueling. No, Immortal Coil. Bring back dueling. That's what I'm talking about. What are too many people? Too many crazy people alive on the earth. Where happened to the days when you can slap somebody with a glove and take them out front?
And just satisfaction.
Right. Listen, I'm sorry. Narcissism has gone rampant. It's always been a thing. But listen, could you imagine, like back in the old West days, right? You could just have like a street, a shootout or whatever, in the middle of the street. A narcissist would think twice before stabbing somebody. They might think twice. If, all right, that's it, bitch. Come on, let's go out to the main street. Now, let's go. Now we got to do this. They would think twice. I really believe that. Some of these narcs are cowardly. I mean, some are crazy. Some are crazy. But, I mean, like crazy and psychopathic. But, yeah, bring back dueling. I'm sorry. Walk away, guys. That's the healthy answer. Actually, I should be saying the healthy answer is no contact. Don't go out murdering people. So, let's see. I want to go through here. Let's see. I personally believe public shaming too, though. They're terrified of being seen. Okay, so this is where I went overboard. And I think, Coyle, you can probably speak on this because you've been around the whole time. I went nuts. Well, be real and please be honest. That's where I went overboard. Yes, narcissists don't like to be exposed because they live in lies, and they're not going to accept that they've lied because they believe that they've lied and everybody else has the problem. But yes, I am still an advocate of speaking out in public. All right. If someone's out there lying about you, or if someone's a complete dirtbag and you need to, after how much abuse, speak your truth, tell how it happened, say what happened. Yes, do that. Absolutely. But there's a fine line between expressing your truth, expressing what has happened, the events that you went through, and then going after, like literally committing to a smear campaign against the person who hurt you. Because I did that. And that's wrong. You can't, because you're not only feeding the cycle and keeping it going and keeping yourself involved, but you're actually becoming what you hate. You're becoming what hurt you. And I think healing after narc abuse should involve healing yourself to the point where you become a better person. So, what are your thoughts on calling people out in public?
If it's like physical or if it's illegal abuse, and I'm not saying that emotional abuse is illegal, if what it does harms your home, take legal recourse, take proper legal recourse. But if it's just a battle of wills, read The Art of War.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know Sun Tzu? You know Sun Tzu, correct?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've read The Art of War.
Read it and pull yourself in and let them destroy themselves. Walk away. Walk the fuck away. Do not feed that furnace ever again.
I am not.
My best advice. Yeah.
Good advice, right? Yeah, because sometimes, let the enemy destroy themselves, especially you're dealing with a narcissist or loyal fools. In that situation, they're destroying themselves. There is no progression when it comes to personal growth. It's all about the destruction of everyone around that person. They're using them. They're an energy vampire, and I'm not saying a narcissist can't achieve, because I know a few narcissists out there who have achieved and have gotten to a certain point, but you will notice that, I'm not going to name names, but oh God, I want to, but even if a narcissist gets 100,000 subs or 2,000 subs on YouTube, and it seems to have strength or pull or making money, eventually their destruction of other people is going to work against them. Them
but
using
it's also
other people.
Any thought that you have of revenge or getting back or showing how much better or showing how much you outperform, that's only going to feed into the situation. All
So
that
what you
stuff should all that stuff should be for you. You should
right?
never. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
No, that's exactly what I was hitting on. Like, you want to get back at a narcissist or a narcissistic person, be successful. Because the reason they hated you in the first place is because you had something they didn't. You had a light or a strength or a confidence, especially inner confidence, especially a self-confidence, because they don't. It's one of the reasons that they have narcissism. So shine like a fucking star, y'all. Shine like the sun. You come out of this situation, you come out of something with these demonic, soulless pieces of trash, these hoovering hobgoblins, petri dishes of STDs. You know what you do? You shine like a star, sister, brother. You shine. You become a better version of yourself. You succeed. You climb. Because they're hoovering you. You're their object. You're their thing. You're their toy. They're not going to stop looking and seeing what you're doing every now and again. When they do hoover and come and look at you through a fake account or through, however they can, let them see you succeeding. Let them see you shine. And you shine because you want to shine, because that is who you are and what you can do and your abilities. All right. It has nothing to do with them. Literally no contact and just succeeding not only just invalidates and destroys. So you don't even need to think about destroying these people. You don't. They destroy themselves. Continue to be a good person. Shine like a fucking star, y'all. Let's see. There is a difference between blood relatives and family. Family don't lie to you. Yeah, no doubt, brother. No doubt. But also, sometimes we lie to ourselves. Like I've said this before, I'm telling you the truth, even if I'm lying to myself. One of the biggest things I didn't like about the last year and a half was discovering I lied to myself, therefore I had lied to others. But I mean, even then, family, real family, they'll forgive you. They will forgive you. And I'd like to say there's a big difference between being someone who understands that a person made a mistake and that person is working toward fixing themselves, and being a loyal fool who knows the narcissist is a liar and just keeps going, yeah, but they're telling the truth. No, they're not. You're being a fool. Thank you.
Listen, Mike, the better thing I'd like to say is there's a difference between the family you're born with and the family you find. Maybe think about that.
And there's also, I maintain as a spiritual person, there's also your family, not of the blood, man. You have a spirit family, a spirit tribe. You've got people that you're just connected by spirit. And that's a whole nother level. And it's a beautiful thing when you find people that you're connected to like that. And it is a horrid thing when you have to go no contact and they have to be dead to you. It's a horrible experience. Real says, my mom was a covert narcissist. I didn't figure that out until I was 42 years old. You know what's strange? I didn't find out that my dad was narcissistic until I started going through narcissistic abuse. I love my pop, by the way, but with family and everything. I don't want to, but listen, I was in the car with him. I was in the car with him. Coil. I'm in the car with him. And I realized why for years and years and years, there were times when I wanted to spend time with dad, times that I didn't. The times that I do want to spend time with dad, he's my dad. He's a cool person to hang out with. We have fun together. The times I don't is when he's literally attempting to trigger me with past memories. He's with anything, everything. It was the first 6 things my dad brought up when we were in the car were all meant to trigger. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I just put my headphones on and started listening to music because I was doing something for them. And he got upset. He got upset. Are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. I gray rocked the living. I gray rocked the hell out of him, and I was proud of myself.
Oh, wow.
And it ended with a hug and I love you. Coil, I have learned, bro. I have learned.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you were gonna say?
You know, it's a fucking strange phenomenon too, and I don't know if this is what you mean. Are you real? Is the phenomenon where a mother will get with a man and have children and garnish his resources and kick him out, and then try to replace the elder son with the responsibilities of the father, uh, which in uh, all actuality turns into a son husband or a husband son. And it's not like a sexual thing, it's like a responsibility thing, and it's like a station thing. So the mother continues to be the same thing she was, but like the son ends up becoming the thing that the father ought have been, at least in the shame aspect. I don't know if that's what was spoken of in this thing, but that's what that made me think of.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, brother. Thank you. See, I want to make sure to let's see. How long were you? I was a loyal fool to a loyal fool. That's all I want to say about that. Sorry, but thank you. Let's see. See, Mike says I just stand tall and buck my chest at them like overgrown monkey. Yeah, they are, because you can scare them off real easy. You can scare them off real easy, unless they're malignant. Like malignants are different, honestly.
That should be the model on the back of a coin, man. Go ahead.
yeah, really, because they, some narcs. If a narc doesn't have control over you, all right, and they're trying to get supply out of you, they will use a third party to get control over you or to hurt you. But they're never those types of narcs are they're covert. The covert narcs never going to come right at someone unless they've already got them like locked into a trauma bond and they've already got them terrorized. Truly happy says I didn't watch my mother take her. Ooh, wow! Wow! Oh my god, that's some shit. I don't even know where to go with that. Thank you for sharing that. I don't even know. I'm sorry. I don't even know where to go with that.
Well, number one, let us know you're okay. But number two, don't elicit drama. I mean, heal. Seek a pathway to healing, please.
Thank you, Cool.
All right.
Yeah, man. Let's see. I have Lisa says I have a memory of my mother when I was 5. She called me a little bitch. Were you being a little bitch? I mean, Lisa, let's be real. Like, who are you today? Are you a little bitchy?
Well,
were you being
was she like staring at you, or did she like turn away and go like, you little?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's terrible. Parenting's difficult. I've made some mistakes, with my kids, and I tried to correct that with my youngest, and I was doing pretty well up until I ran into a toxic situation I didn't want to leave, and it hurt him by proxy. Of course, because look, man, looking after your kids is important. That is number one. Okay, number effing one. Okay, so if you see a loyal fool, well, narcissists don't care at all. They don't care about their kids. They don't care about kids. Kids are objects. They don't give a damn about them. But if you see a loyal fool purporting, one of the worst things I ever saw, saying, protect the children, we don't pass on pain, kids are the most important thing, and then bring them into an abusive situation where there's physical violence, emotional damage, that's a loyal fool. Like, there's nothing you can do for them. But understand that, like, the child, as they are growing, is being programmed the entire time by your example. That's the most important time that you need to lead by example. And we all make mistakes. We all make pitfalls, and we all are living an experience where we're learning. But that's one thing that really grinds my gears is people who are allowing children in violent, domestic, abusive situations, know that they are, and don't do anything about it. Like, that's the worst. That is not a responsible parent, and it's a crime to the development of that. young person.
I also want to float this idea out to you, Stephen.
Sure, brother.
The only way to heal generational pain, if your mom or your dad was an asshole, how do you stop that? How do you stop that from going to your own children?
By healing yourself.
And ceasing to be what you saw them demonstrate. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
And I mean, and I've been given that gift. As I want to go too far into it, but as I was healing and discovering myself and going in a better direction, God swooped in and said, okay, you want to heal some damages? Let's go back to one of the core damages of your life and the people that it hurt, and brought me to a place where I'm at now, where I have my sons together for the first time and the ability to help them to lead by example, heal myself, and help to heal any damage in my own family unit. And I'm committed to healing that generational trauma. Heal yourself, learn your lessons, know your worth, shine like a star.
Wash your hands, wash your ass.
Wash your ass. Be good to each other and suffer no fools.
Love you, brother. What's next, man?
All right. Mike says, the reason narcissists are stupid is because they spend their entire life hopping from bed to bed. Oh, absolutely. Oh, my God. You know what? I know we talk about this often, but let's just take a little bit of time in this segment. A mortal coil. Why is it important? Why is it important to really vet who you are sharing your sexual energy with?
Okay. We have to discuss this in terms of energy, because
Absolutely.
if you see yourself as beyond a physical being, if you see yourself as a spirit, as somebody who takes in and puts out energy, everybody that you sleep with has an effect upon your spiritual field. So if you allow an idiot to sleep with you, guess what? You absorb idiocy. If you allow a scholar to sleep with you, guess what? You absorb scholarly energy. If you allow a slut to sleep with you, guess what? You absorb slut energy. If you allow a spiritualist to sleep with you, guess what? You absorb spiritualist energy. And not only that, anybody that you fuck, it takes about 6 weeks for their energies to dissipate from you. Okay? Now, say in that same time frame, you have sex with like 100 people. Guess what? All of those energy matrices are going to mix within one another. And everybody that you have touched will be touched with everybody else that you touch. And that's the basis of a disease as well.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. So, like, this is why I put it like this when I do talk to people off air that have gone through, narcissistic relationship with, a slutty one. You got, not only are you exchanging energies with a narc, with a soulless, it doesn't love you. This is not about love. You are an object.
Right.
Not only you're sharing that, you are also sharing energy with every person that one's cheating on you. So if you're upset in your fifis because he's leaving me in bed, running out all night to cheat on, you're sleeping with them too. You're exchanging their energies too. A narcissist is an energy vampire. They are a petri dish of spiritual STDs. Yep. It's disgusting. There's a healthy way. There is a healthy way to, if you wish to be like not promiscuous, but there's a healthy way to have multiple partners, and there's an unhealthy way. The healthy way is picking healthy partners. Yeah. If you have more than one partner, make sure they're healthy people. They're good people. But there's a reason why monogamy is a thing, and there's also a reason why absence is a thing. And sleeping with a narc is gross. Like you get to a point, if you know a loyal fool who's sleeping with a disgusting slob, where it's just like you don't look at that loyal fool anymore. You don't look at them the same way. Like you're gross. Like ew. I don't want. It's just what it is. Walk away. And if you have been sleeping with an narc, guys, if any of you out there have been, like Coyle said, 6 weeks is about the time the energy dissipates.
That's right.
So no contact is difficult to commit to within those 6 weeks because you are under a psychic attack. There is an energy attack that is happening. Whether a narcissist understands energy transfer or not, they instinctively know that that's a hook that they have inside of you. So be aware of that. Meditate, cleanse, pray, whatever it is that you do to connect to source, to cleanse your energy. Do that because that's why sex is such a big thing with narcissists. That's why they are sex addicts. And it's not just the escape aspect. It's not just escape reality. It's not just to feel good because they're actually performing well with an object, and they're getting positive fuel for it, and then negative when they ghost and cheat. But it also has to do with the energy component. You know, they're turning you into them. A narcissist wants to turn you into them. That's why they want to keep the cycle going. They want you to be just as damaged as they are. They want to pass on their pain.
True.
Huh. All right. Let's see. I got to jump a little bit because this is okay. Scott Clark, here we go. Scott Clark's absolutely the government triangulates us against ourselves. Man, I am way back in the chat. This is a narcissistic situation for sure. The citizens are the victims. No contact. Like, don't vote. Hey, Coyle, you're a fan of George Carlin, right?
Love him.
All right. Remember when George Carlin said, "I don't participate at all. It's not my fault. I didn't do it." I don't vote. Was he right?
Okay. This is gonna sound fucked up, but I don't think an ordinary citizen's vote counts much on a national scale. Where it counts is in your own fucking neighborhood. So, like, how do you want your schools run? How do you want your local government to run? How do you want taxes distributed? Who do you want on council? In my own town, I noticed that there were several people of political affiliation that I disagreed with. I'm not going to say who they are, or what they believed in, because I don't want to influence you guys. But it was up to me to just voice up and, hey, even if like 300,000 people said that they were in favor of it, I said no. And I made my stand. I drew a line in the sand. So hope that helps. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Lisa says his mask finally slipped off. I am waiting for exit mode. Are you dealing with like a malignant? Are you dealing with a covert? Like, what kind of narc are you dealing with? Are you dealing with like really psycho narc? Or are you dealing with like severe mommy issues? Please peg me, mommy. Narc, you know, because I mean, either way, they're going to stalk. You know, male narc.
Well,
like
and
female
why
narc.
wait if you know the answer?
Has
fucking
to
act on it. Okay,
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. No, that's because that.
I don't
like,
know.
In a normal,
I'm sorry.
no, don't be sorry. In a normal situation, you're absolutely right. Like, get the fuck out. But let me tell you. Well, let me tell you what narcissistic men. All right, are stalkish. They will hunt you down. Narcissistic men will, as far as like women, they will beat women. They will stalk them. They will like just like create get different phone numbers. They will go through friends. They will go through anyone. They will go to your work. They will go to your. They will do. They are the worst. It's the worst types of grown man children ever. Right? They do not. Okay. They own women. They are the like when you think about like a misogynist. Like take that to the nth degree.
Yeah. I apologize.
Right. So,
I did not understand. So.
No, it's all good. This is why we talk about these things. So you have to have. It's like you have to have an exit strategy with some narcs, especially like stalkish, crazy male narcs. You've got to have an exit strategy. You've got to be prepared because you know he's going to hunt you down. He's going to employ whatever nasty, underhanded tactics that he can in order to bait you into coming back in. And so Lisa's probably in the process of, at this moment, all right, where am I going to go? How am I going to hide? How am I going to avoid? You know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame that you have to do that, you know. But Lisa, I will ask you to do this. A question came through my comments earlier. A woman was asking, so then her ex-narcissist owns a business, and I guess he's known in the community, and she was asking me my advice, and I didn't have time to really give her a coherent answer. But she said, what do I do? Like, if I go after him for the stalking and everything he's doing, like if I go legally after him, then, you know, I'm going to look like the bad person because he has a lot of influence. And I said, narcs are evil. They deserve no mercy. No mercy. It doesn't matter. You've got to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. When you're dealing with that situation, like with a bully, you've got to lock them the fuck down. So when you are, you know, like, so if you have to, like, if they come, if you need to employ legal defense, do it. Definitely go after that narc. Because the narc will come after you. Like I said, the narcs will do anything. They'll do anything to maintain control and then point the finger and then blame you. You know, they will break your windshield and blame you. They will send you to the hospital and blame you. Yeah, it's don't let a campaign of terror from a bully with mommy issues stop you from protecting yourself. Huh, yeah. Yeah, but no, brother, you are on point. Like, you are on point if you know the answer.
Well, I'm sorry. I'd like to say I'm sending healing energy to you. That sounds fucked up, and that was just my male reaction. I don't know what you're going through. I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I'd hurt somebody.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because that's how you deal with a normal bully. That's how you deal with a normal, you know. But it's just not that. But anyway, you can help Lisa, Immortal Coil. You can help her. All right, by doing as requested. I think it was by next week and speaking Latin. All right, on Sound Spirituality.
Good. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. He's gonna do some savage Latin. So get the recorder ready. Plug in all your toys. Get them charged. Yeah. He's got you.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Love you,
let's see. Are you real says, I had very weak boundaries, so I decided in 2017 to take a break from relationships to work on my own issues. That's healthy.
Very wise.
I think that, yeah, you know what? You were talking about you went through a bad relationship and you took some time, right?
Several times. Actually in between each time. So I thought I was in love once. I produced a child. It lasted about 7 years and then it stopped. And
the relationship, not the child.
No. The child is fine. She's 11. You know, she's gonna have a birthday soon.
Beautiful.
But it's also one of those things that I think the thing that hurt most was the guy that I thought that I saw I was gonna be, who never came to be. You know, I desired something for myself that just was not meant to be. So what I had to do was adapt to who I became. And that sounds like a platitude. That sounds like I'm boiling a bunch of lasagna noodles. But it's what led to the path of the guy who's like talking to you right now, you know. Was I alone sometimes? Yeah. Did I find some family? Yeah. Did I have to choose to be alone all those times? No. Did I? Yeah. Will I ever again? I hope not. Here I am tonight with you guys.
Hail, brother.
Yeah.
Scott Clark says, I don't trust so-called self-aware narcissists playing YouTube helper. There's only one that I like. There's only one. Mental health awareness, mental health. I can't think of his name. Guys, if you know his name, please put it in the chat. I feel bad. I need to remember this guy's name. He's the only one that I follow because when my senses tell me, my instinct tells me that he is bettering himself, and I go with my gut. You know, we deal with narcissists. We ignore red flags. We ignore our intuition. My intuition tells me that one I believe him. But actually, another one I love is Lisa Girl Power. Oh my God, she's great. She is so angry. Oh my, I would love her to talk down to me sometime. She is hot too. She's not putting up with shit. That narc hurt her, and she's going. She's and I want to take her route, to be honest, because I feel that fire in myself. But her channel, wonderful. God, can't say enough good things about her. God, Lisa, if you're listening to this, hit me up. I'm serious. Like, I'm on the prowl. So I thank you. Lisa says, narcs are cowards. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You can't do dirt and hurt other people and then like not take any accountability. You can't be a liar all the time, then point the finger at somebody who's telling the truth and say, that person's lying. And then you have to create evidence. Then you have to create evidence to back up your bullshit. Narcs are cowards, man. A narcissist wouldn't kill someone because it would be detrimental to them. However, if someone has accidentally killed due to something they've done, trust me, they wouldn't care. I would like to. No, actually, the situation that I was in, they were trying to get me to kill they were trying to get me to kill myself. They knew I was teetering. They knew they got me to that point, and they wanted me to get to that point because the narcissists wanted to exert power through a third party, the fool, over me, the fool who followed the fool. And that would have been the ultimate prize if I had offed myself for someone who is desperately trying to prove through any means possible that they love a narcissist who will never love them. Like that would have.
Well, and that sounded like the ultimate realization of how you came to this path.
Yes.
you had person A and person B, and I don't know if you want to call yourself person C, but
I was definitely person C.
Yeah, and then
I was definitely.
all of a sudden you realize the positions that everybody was trying to place themselves into, and suddenly, and thank you, you decided not to participate. And I think in that moment, you reclaimed your power.
I did. But in reclaiming my power, like the final step of it was honestly, dude, it was seeing person B be who they had been in the past for a glimpse, for a small window of time over a few days, a very small window of time, and going, oh man, that person still exists. And then understanding that when person B went to person A again, and person A whipped them up, person B became someone that totally different. They were the person B was person B/2, and person B/2 is not the person B that I knew my whole life, so it's a death. That's why I said, and I saw that it kind of reflected on me and what was happening with me when I was changing, when I was fighting back, mirroring the narc, all that stuff. I was becoming someone that I wasn't, like I was literally embracing becoming someone that I wasn't, on a real level. Like, so when you stay in it long enough, if you stay in it long enough, you're a loyal fool. You stay in it long, you change, you become somebody different, and you will validate, you will make excuses for, you will lie to yourself. You will start creating that cognitive distance. You start creating a whole different world to validate the craziness that you're involved in. When the answer is walk away. Walk away. That's the answer. The answer is walk away. Don't be stubborn.
Are you guys listening?
Steve Walton.
Are you listening? Steven's screaming.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not mad at myself anymore, but I was just like, oh my God, like it was so simple. It was so Coyle. It was so simple. You said it. Who else said it? Every goddamn buddy said it. Everybody said it. And I didn't hear it.
How can you see that shit when you're in the midst of it?
My emotions were involved. That's another thing that I figured out. That's how I got out of it finally, was just like, whoa, okay, this is all when you have the ability to calm your emotions and look at things from a logical, when you are the king of fucking swords. You're the king of swords.
There you go.
Head over heart. Logic and reason.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what you have to be. So I became the king of swords, and I understood. All right, let's see. Lisa says that the verbal and sexual abuse with the neglect added in later woke me up. That's crazy, man. It's yeah, and look, I guarantee you. All right, and this is one thing women I always hear when I talk to women who have been through this stuff. But the narc was so good in bed. Now that's the devil. The narc was not that good in bed. Once you get away from that, you find somebody healthy. You're gonna have sex better than you had with that demon, that incubus. You will absolutely.
But also, don't be afraid to ask what your kink is. I'm sorry. I was reading a little bit.
No, and no, you're dead end. Yo, dude, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, some people like to be talked down to, or like I joke about it. I'm actually I'm a dom, not a sub, or I'm dominant. But if you are like the kinks that you're into, you can find them with someone healthy. All right, you can find someone. You can find some if you really like if you like being degraded, tied up, talk shit to, degraded, whatever it is. Like that's fine. Whatever your kink is. You absolutely can find someone who will treat you like a woman outside of the bedroom with respect and like not cheat on you and not beat you and not be a piece of trash. And then have an agreement and understanding of what you like and then treat you like a complete trashy, useless whore.
That's what you want.
What you want. That's what you like.
I used to be with a woman who had a grape kink, and she wanted me to do a certain thing, and and I did it, and that was fine. That was cool. We didn't last forever, but like I was able to do it for her. That doesn't mean that outside of the scenario that we weren't disrespectful to each other. It was just like,
right. Well, this is the thing, right?
We were adults about it.
If you are a man or woman, right, who's into being degraded in the bedroom, right? That's your kick. And you are also into being degraded outside of the bedroom, you have issues you need to see a therapist about, because that is a lack of self-worth. You are fucking damaged. You need to go talk to somebody. You need a therapist. That's not right. There's a difference between a kink and then living a life where you are never going to reach your potential because you enjoy being punished constantly like you're worth trash.
Right.
That's disgusting.
One is pretend and one is like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Are you real? Exactly. Walk away. Their magical thinking will ultimately cause them to self-destruct. Yeah, because their world, the illusion only lasts. The illusion only has power from loyal fools, people who believe the lies, other bullshitters. You're surrounded by bullshitters. Well, the bullshit is going to be the world, but eventually you're going to have to, interact with reality. And when you do, people who live in the real fucking world are not going to put up with your retarded shit. They're not going to acquiesce to your retarded shit.
Put succinctly by the sage.
Yeah, the sage is talking. It's retarded shit. All right, so, what's up? Tim's talk is in the chat. If one of my mods would please put out a link.
Have not seen that guy in a while. What's up, buddy? How you been?
Tim is also a man who makes me think. Just wonder. I'm not saying I want to. I don't want to hit for. I'm not trying to switch hit for the other team or anything. But I'm just saying, like when I see Tim in his cosplay and stuff, like I wonder. I used to think Tim was 23. That dude's like in his mid 30s. He's like, he goes our age. He looks great.
Hey Tim, look in your post office for the pudding pops from author Stephen Walton. So.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm going after Tim. I'm not saying I want to grape him or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, when I see it, I'm like, damn, like, I don't question. I want to go back to the gym. I do question going to the gym, but I look at Tim and I'm like, if I was a chick, if I had like another hole, yeah, maybe I would, with Tim. But yeah, I love you, Tim. Tim also is a survivor of narcissistic abuse, narcissistic relationship, and was one of the first people to reach out to me and start giving me some support because he understood what I was going through. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. I love you, brother. I love you so much, dude.
Yeah, dude. You're a good guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a mod. If a mod's not out there, hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to find the channel. There we go. Turn down the volume. It's like, Timmy, I'm making you a mod if you're not. There he is.
Timmy.
Add it. Hold on. Standard. right, Tim, I made you a mod. Put your link out there for all your stuff, dude. Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, put it out there for me. All right. Let's see. Bad Take Bozeman said, I lost respect for my father when he sided with my narcissistic mother. I love him for the things he did do for me, but he couldn't fight my mother for us kids. That's a shame too. So dad was a loyal fool. Is that what you're saying? Like, because, it takes a certain combination of characteristics in order to exist in that relationship with one another. Okay, how do I put this? I don't know if I can call them out. Somebody connected to my family is in a situation with a narcissistic mom and a dad who's complicit. And I hear stories all the time, all the time, because it's part of the generational trauma thing that I'm healing, that I'm helping with right now. And it just makes me wonder, because I've met the dad, I've seen the mom, and when I saw the mom, I saw the fake face right away, Tina. I can see it now. Like I see narcissists, the sixth sense.
I fucking hate that kid. I want to hit him in the face.
Listen, I need to get a clip of that and change it to I see narcissists, man. But listen, when you first come out of it, you see it everywhere, but then you begin to understand it's a trait. Narcissism or being narcissistic is a trait, and it's like that doesn't mean it's that person's a narcissist. But you can see
it's a good movie. Like, I didn't even like him in Forrest Gump. Like, I wanted to hit him in the face then too. I was like,
have you seen him now? He looks. He's got kind of like he's got like a panda bear face now. He's got a panda bear head.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't grow up well. There was just something I didn't like about the guy, and he played some good characters. I'm not trying to say that shit, and I'm not trying to distract from the. Actually, what I wanted to ask is, Tina, is your father still alive? Is your mother still alive? Because I'll tell you what, I had some issues with my mother that I was not able to resolve, and she was killed. And I'm spiritual, like I could commune with her, but like it's not the same as being able to actually talk to her. So maybe let us know in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Well, actually, it was a good laugh. But was doing this situation, like I saw the woman and I saw it right away. The fake hi, the whole fakeness, and I'm like, hey, and I finally learned the lesson that I wish I had known way back in the early days of the Phantom Menace. When you see a snake walk into the room, you just smile and wave. Hi, how you doing? I know how to do that now. So but then I was talking with the dad, like I was around the father, and he seemed like a good guy. He seemed like a good guy. He was interacting with the other members of the family fine and everything. And so I hear the stories about what it's like when I'm not around, and I'm just like, okay, this woman's a nightmare, trying to trigger everybody, trying to create anxiety, shifting blame on everybody, trying to project all of her ills on other people. And, what does dad do? Well, dad drinks, I guess that's the vice. That's the vice, but at some point you figure, so from my mind, and I'm not trying to apply this on your family situation, but like to my mind, when a person is complicit in allowing an abusive person to be abusive, that makes them complicit, so I can understand. It's like you love him, but it's hard for you. I'm sorry you went through that, Tina. That's a sad situation. It brings me back to my family unit where my dad has narcissistic tendencies. I don't know if he's a full-blown narcissist. I don't even want to know at this point, right? Because he's getting up there. I'm just glad the family's talking again. But I see how he acts now very clearly, and it's very clearly one day he's this person, and one day he can be this person. And the other person that he is, the narcissistic side, is so ingrained in who he is. Like, how do you not know that you're coming at me and trying to trigger me? Like, how do you not know? You're saying things that I have said, don't tell me or don't say, or that's not me, 10, 20 years ago. And you're continuing that narrative. And,
can I ask you a question, Stephen?
Yeah.
Have you ever caught yourself being narcissistic with your own children?
I would.
And I mean, caught yourself, like you were like, Like it choked
I
you?
I would say no, but there is a chance due to remaining in an abusive situation, an abuse cycle, that at some point, because I was doing it to person B, because person A was keeping the fight going, and I refused to leave person B. So me as person C absolutely engaged in a smear campaign and said things that to hurt person B because I was living in a world of fantasy because of the pain that I was going through and prioritize that. So I don't know. There is an outside chance that somewhere in there I did at some point, but I don't consciously remember it.
Yeah.
If
Well, I
did.
appreciate you for being honest. I just had a scratching thought.
Got to keep it real, dude. Keep it real. That's what about this is discovering yourself, healing. Keep it real. So, let's see. We are looking. Oh, here we go. Deborah asks, how do you talk to non-beings, a mortal coil, and how do you read auras?
I don't know what you mean about non-beings. I'm going to assume that you mean, yeah. So how do you read auras? There's a book by Barbara Ann Brennan, and maybe I'll throw this in the chat. Hang on.
You go ahead, find that link, put it in the chat, and I will answer the first one. How do you talk to non-beings? Spirits, spirit guides. For my part, is they usually come to me, or I sit down and meditate and pray. Right, like praying is however you connect to source. Like if you pray, that's a connection you're making to God, to your angels, to spirit. So if you just really calm yourself, or not even calm, but at any point in time, if you just speak aloud, your spirit guides hear you, right? You don't necessarily have to hear a voice talking back to you or feel an energy. If you are speaking out loud to your guides, to your angels, they hear you. They're with you all the time. So that's how I commune. But go ahead, Coyle.
So I'm about to put a link in the chat, and I didn't even realize I can do that because I thought for some reason if I left the chat, then I'd just be like dead.
You're a big boy.
I know. I'm a big boy now. So here goes this thing. It's a PDF that I'm putting out. This is actually not just a workbook. The lady who wrote this book made this basically like a college textbook where it has like chapters and exercises, and like at the end of each chapter there's like 10 things you have to do, and you have to write a paper, and there's this is the thing that I taught myself with. But it's also one of those things that like I knew that I always knew how to do, and I just needed to find the correct resource. So if that's the correct resource for you and you realize that that's what you know how to do, then I offer this to you. The only caveats that I have to offer is once you begin to see into different realms, you're going to be able to perceive people that live on those realms, and try not to be afraid. But this is also one of the tasks that we're down here to do, and specifically me and Steven, we have shows like this, like I know it's about narcissism and blah blah blah, but like you guys are picking up that I'm more about blah blah blah, and hopefully that Steven's about more than blah blah blah. As we all grow together, we're going to help elevate the human race as a whole. So check out the link. It's down there.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. No problem. I'm going to jump ahead, chat. I want to go back and catch a couple more of your comments first, but Tina came through to answer your question. Both parents are still alive. They live apart as they never got a divorce. He tries to ignore her narco tactics or narco acts He ends up a great grandfather, and even though my boys can see him, he's not a man to look up to.
Do you want to go first or me?
Go ahead, please.
Tina, you know what to do. Like, it sounds to me like unless you're like financially or somewhere else dependent upon these people, they don't deserve your emotional allegiance. You know, you got to go somewhere else for that. And if you can't go to them for that, come to us. And I'm not saying like Steven and I specifically, I'm saying like your community. You know, there's a family you're born with, there's a family you find. All right, go ahead, buddy.
I just wanted to say, yeah, Coyle was not speaking for us when he said we can be your daddies. All right, that's not what he was saying. We love Mr. Bojan. All right, he's our hero. Mr. Bojan is our hero out there right now. If you guys don't know, Tina is a Chicago gangster who chooses men like a lioness. All right, so like if she chooses you, you are a special breed. You are a special lion. All right, and we all wish we were Mr. Bojan. All right, so we are proud of him. We are happy for him. And yeah, thank you, Tina, for being a gangster. Now, he said, they live apart. That's kind of the way that I look at like the relationship with my dad. So I see my dad with my sons, especially my youngest, and it's a totally different story. It's totally different. And it was weird because actually my son was in the car with us when we had that experience earlier when my dad was trying to trigger me, and I just saw right through it. Trying to trigger that emotional reactivity from like past trauma, just with comments, little side comments. And when we were done and I was talking with my son, I was like, Nathan, I'm so glad that you have a completely different relationship with my dad, and that's going to be something healthy, and that you enjoy time with him. Because I was like, did you see how he was like the first, like the first 10 minutes before I put the headphones in and said, I'm done? And he was like, yeah. I said, that's what I've dealt with my whole life, which is, and it's what it is. It's not all the time. And the thing is that it's not all the time. And it's confusing. And again, he's actually the one that taught me the love bomb evaluation. One day I was his greatest son in the world, loved his love and light. And then the next day I was a useless N-word, Yeah. And so that led into actually one of the things that made me attracted to narcissistic women my entire life. And Batik Bojan says, I'm very lucky that my husband is wonderful and my boys take after him. Awesome. Jim and I are the broken pieces who fit together. God, that's so beautiful.
It's good.
Oh, so beautiful.
Did you say Gemini?
No, Jim.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Bojan.
Yeah.
I hope that
it's a bad joke. Okay.
Maybe. Sorry. My bad. I hope I find that in my life at some point. Like I'm staring at like, less than 5 years to 50. And I've only attracted like narcissistic or toxic women my entire life. And, for a while it was a joke when early Phantom Menace, you remember you've been around for years, Tina. You've been a fan of mine for years. So, you remember early in, I was like, I love those daddy issues, like I used to say. And it took some real daddy issues to F me up, but I hope I heal one day enough that I'm able to attract someone like that. That's a beautiful thing. I'm so happy for you guys. I love your relationship.
Well, and I appreciate you. Seem like a genuine person too. So thank you for being genuine. In our chat.
Yeah. She's genuine. Absolutely. Dude, what's crazy? Like Coyle, I didn't even realize that. I was going through author Stephen Walton, and I was kind of going through the comments that I've never responded to, and there's like 1,000. Because I wasn't on my YouTube game like I am now. And like Dragonstorm, dude, I'm on them comments. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at, and I like 3 years ago, it was like up to like 3-something years ago, there was Tina Bojan, commenting on one of my, Phantom Menace videos, and I was just like, wow, been around for Thank you, Tina. Well, thank you.
And that's why we're very much appreciative of the chat right now. We're going to get to all of them. So. All right.
We are. We're kind of toward the end, and we're hitting 2 hours. So let's get a few more in. Mike says, I am careful not to have my kids around the narc. It already happened once, and I lost a chance to be a father. Oh, man. That's hard, dude.
Dude, being the father in a narc situation is the most dick in the ass situation I can think of.
Yeah.
It's going to require all your strength, and hit us up. Let us know how we can help you, man. That's a
Well,
mother
he
fucker.
says he's a virtual dad now. So at least good you talk to your child. That's awesome. You are still part of that child's life, and that is beautiful.
Okay.
That your influence, I mean, in that situation, and I tell this to parents, people ask me like that, like, how do you co-parent with a narc? And that's not kind of it's not my specialty. How do I put this? What I say is that, first off, look for creators or look for information for people who can give you that knowledge. But for me, my advice would be you are the only way that kid is going to understand what true love is. Because a narcissist looks at a child as an object. They are a thing. They are a toy. They are, it's
Sometimes
an extension
they're
of
a
their
weapon.
world.
Yeah.
They're a weapon, right? And you're going to be the person who makes the difference. You're going to be the parent who makes the difference, who gives them the chance to be a healthy, functional, loving human being. So, man, my best of luck to you, brother. I'm sending you love and light, man. Dad to dad. I got you.
Same.
Blissful says they steal all our resources. They absolutely do. I have heard so many. I have been victim to, losing all of my money and all of my resources. But narcs absolutely do. They're vampires. They'll suck the life out of you. They'll suck everything. Yes, it's a process, and we have to stay very careful with planning our exits. And mine will probably try to hurt and kill me. That's fucking same. I hope that you have family members who own firearms and you take the steps necessary to get out of there, and like, make yourself safe. I know I say a lot of stuff about, bring back dueling. If a narcissist is going to hunt you down, shoot him and drag him in the house, but I'm not serious about that. Make sure to protect yourself. And, that's the most important thing, sweetheart. Like, we're praying for you. We are praying for you. Let's see. She kept going. Hold on. She said, I'm surprised how much I love being with myself and rediscovering me. Yeah, isn't that incredible? That's what I've done. And I've gone through a lot of, I don't want to say Hoovers. Person B, I love that you gave me that coil. I'm going to use that so much from now on. Person B, that's going to save me so much. You have no idea. Person B, I thought that they were Hoovers, and they might have been, because Person B started taking on the traits of Person A and started becoming like Person A, but there was still a Person B. But Person B would come back to Person C, me, looking for, like, just love, looking for affection and friendship and what it had in the past. And, it was, even though that was happening, I was still discovering myself, because there was enough time in between those reoccurrences where I was able to rediscover my fire. And then, like I said, last month, I really did. And it's been a beautiful experience, man. I love being me again. I love this. I love live streaming. I love talking to you guys. I like having friends again. It's just I choose them a lot more carefully than I used to. And when you become yourself again, blissful, people start reaching out to you that you haven't heard from in a while. When you start shining and you start being successful and you start doing your thing and you're not acting wreck, people will start noticing that, and they may choose to reassociate with you. And if that's the case, if it's someone that loved you that had to walk away, you have to understand they needed to walk away from a loyal fool because you were being a fool, and forgive them. Like, I hold no hate, no animosity toward any person who actually loves me, who had to walk away, who had to go down and go do their thing. Because I was being a fool, and at times I was acting narcissistic. At times I was being, I was acting like the person that I hated because I was being hurt so much. So it's like, I get it, But I'm also thanking people like Coyle, people like Tina, people like Scott, who never left my side. Not once did they ever walk away from me. If I needed them, they were there.
Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful thing. Lee Hammock. Yes, Lee Hammock. I love Lee Hammock. Yes. That's the guy. Lee is awesome. I truly believe, my spirit tells me, my intuition tells me, he's for real. He's actually changing who he is. But the other ones, I don't know. I don't know what the other ones. Yeah, Leah's mental illness. Yeah. Let's see. Anyone else? My situation has two narcissists working together against me. I kind of understand what you mean. Person A, definitely narcissist. Person B, taking on those traits. So I feel you, Dragonstorm. Unfortunately, it sounds insane and unreal, but it's because narcs feed off such extreme and unnecessary dramas. Right, and the only answer is to cut them off. No contact, no nothing, no response, no nothing. If person B sets out a list of conditions not to contact person A in order to reassociate, and you do not contact person A, so person A creates a fake log, a fake text or call, and then person B believes it, and then you have to cut off person B. And then after you've cut off person B, person A actually does text you. You don't respond to person A. You don't do it. No, I'm not getting involved in this game anymore. I'm done. You got to cut them off. No contact. It's not happening. Not happening. Sergeant Pepper's in the chat. What's up, baby girl? I love your hair. I have to say, I love your hair.
Nice.
Now, I'm not just hitting on you. I'm hitting on you. I think that's beautiful. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. She comes through the Savage Spirituality shows, which we had one last night, guys. Please go check out Immortal Coil. Link for his channel is pinned in the chat, and we had a great show last night. So please go check that out.
Show last night.
It really did. I think with that, we're going to actually close it out. Coil, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, your channel, and what we do?
Well, what is happening, my savage friends? You are listening to the Throat of Immortal Coil. It is Sunday, March the 17th, 8:13 p.m. on the West Coast. Essentially, what I speak about is the larger truths about reality and incarnation, and it touches on off-world identities as well. I guess I can't explain it better than that. What we are is larger than this. We tend to involve ourselves more in our internal dramas than we ought to, but who we are and what we are trying to overcome has much more of an impact than just the person at the office that you show up as, or the person in the car that you're on the freeway as, or the person who shows up at home and makes dinner for everybody. Everything that we do and everything that we aspire to be and every thought that we have and every aspiration we have turns into something. Would you like to know what that is? Let's explore it together. Come join us. We do this on Saturday nights, Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. And you can always join us in the after effect. But Stephen and I are essentially trying to take over the weekend. So you can catch me there, you can catch him and us here, and then you can catch yourself inside.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Hail, brother. You can catch yourself. You can rub yourself. You can listen to Immortal Coil speaking Latin and record it. And if you so choose, plug in your tools, ladies. It's going to be a hot time.
I'll do it next time.
It's happening. This is happening next week. This is going to be a thing. All right. But thank you guys so much for being. Greatly appreciate you. I appreciate every single of my new subscribers. I have had incredible growth in the last month, which tells me that I'm moving in the right direction and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because God's blessed me. The gods are blessed me. The source is with me. And thank you guys, everybody who's been on the ride with me the entire time. I promise you, this shit's only going to get better. All right, because we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk some trash about some darks. We're going to expose them as we grow, as we become our authentic selves. We learn how to shine, and we do not stop. Let me see. Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on, wait. Oh, here we go. I almost did it. Hello, Donis, Ravenwolf Dragonstorm, your seer and sage. Hail to all my fellow survivors of narcissistic abuse. Make sure to know your worth and when to walk away. And I am also author Stephen Walton, the fandom menace historian. Your historian, born in the chaff of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Be good to each other, yet suffer no fools.
Remember this day, man, for it will be yours for all time. We have shown them that a trembling hand can become a fist. We have challenged the idea that a slave must always know his place, excepting Rod and Lash because he was taught to accept it. We built their mighty republic with our hands and our blood and our lives. And we can see it fall at equal cost. You opened my eyes to this, Spartacus.